You want me to just go through the parts starting up here and just point out what we're going to have?
Go ahead.
Okay. This is the hard palate with the ridge. Behind the hard palate is the soft palate right there. What holds the tongue down, and I'll put a pin right here, that's the frenulum right here. Oh, you can see that. That's the frenulum. And then on the side, this is a better view on this side. All this is masseter muscle. That's the cheek muscle of the cat. And then the gland, and I've got a good one too. This little white mass right here is the parotid gland. That's one of the salivary glands. So I ask parotid gland here. And then if we go down to the neck area, this is the trachea with the ridges. This tube underneath, and I'll just stick this underneath. This is the esophagus right here. It's a tube-like structure. So what I'll do on the test, I'll put a probe underneath this like this. And that's the esophagus right here. So then down here on the heart area, this structure right here, if I can get this hold of this. Pull this back.
Open up very well.
Yeah, this is bad. This is the thymus gland right here. Runs from the top of the heart to the trachea. That's all thymus right here in the middle. This is lung, and this is lung. And that's the thymus in the middle. Then here is the heart. The heart's kind of hard to see because the pericardial sac's still on it. I mean, it's not hard. You can't see the surface. All this is the heart here. That is part of the sac. And then down here lower, this structure right here is the diaphragm. Right here with my fingers. That's the diaphragm. Below the diaphragm is the liver. And the lobes of the liver, which you'll have to know, on the right side of the heart, this huge lobe here, well actually this one right here, this is right medial lobe. All this is right medial lobe. That's your gallbladder right here. The little sac is the gallbladder. It's attached to the right medial lobe. The right lateral lobe is right down here. It's real deep. So that's your right lateral lobe down here. On the left side, you have a smaller left medial. This is left medial right here. And this is left lateral right here. So there's 4 lobes you have to know. Left lateral and left medial. Then this big one's right medial, and then right lateral is deep. All this material here, greater omentum. This is the spleen over here. And then this structure right here is the stomach. Let's pull some of this greater omentum off of it. That this big structure right here is your stomach. This whole thing right here. And let's see if we can pull this apart a little bit. So the stomach right here, the upper third on this area right here is the fundus. Up here is the fundus of the stomach. This is the body of the stomach right in here. The cardiac region I won't ask you on the test because it's so high up. It's just the entry point. So fundus is upper third body. And then here is the pyloric region right here. The stomach makes a J like this. So this is the pylorus or pyloric region. And then right here, I've got my finger at the site. There's a little groove right here. That's the pyloric sphincter. And that's between the pyloric region of the stomach and the small intestine, the duodenum. So this first C-shaped section here is the duodenum of the small intestine. It looks like a C. It's the shortest and first section. All the grainy material right here, that's pancreas. And that runs all the way along the duodenum, and it actually runs clear up underneath the stomach. There's some of it right here that's grainy. All this is pancreas. The whole area right there is pancreas. And then the whole middle portion of the small intestine is the jejunum. So that's all. The material right here, mesentery, between the lobes of the small intestine. And down here, I guess I should go back here real quick. All the material right here is called lesser omentum. It's this little bit of connective tissue in here. It's all called lesser omentum. And what that does, it surrounds the cystic duct, the hepatic duct to protect them. So all this is greater omentum. It covers all the organs. That's called lesser omentum. And usually it's hard to dig. The little duct that comes off the gallbladder is the cystic duct. But it's real hard to dissect the hepatic duct and them out. So usually I don't do that on the test because it's just too hard to get them out of there. But if I said name the tissue down here, that would be lesser omentum that goes around those ducts. Then what I have to do is lay this
like Thanksgiving, he's getting the turkey ready. I know.
That's about what it is. That's why I have to use so many cats. Here's your colon right here. This whole structure is colon. So what I would do here, I'd put it like this. And if I said name the structure right here, or name the body, this is going to be ileum of the small intestine. That's the last portion of the small intestine right here. That's ileum. If you see this little pouch right here, that's the cecum, and that designates the start of the colon or large intestine. It's a little blind pouch. Our appendix would be off of this right here, but the cat doesn't have an appendix, so there isn't one. But this would be, at this point, there's a knot here, and I'll say name the circular band of muscle, just like I would say up here. That's a circular band of muscle is a sphincter. So that'd be your ileocecal sphincter right here. So this would be ileum of the small intestine. This would be ileocecal sphincter. This would be the cecum, and this would be ascending colon. That little bit right there is ascending colon. This...
Are you going to point as where the appendix would be in the human
No,
body?
no, I want you to ask that, huh? Then this is transverse colon right here. So ascending colon, transverse colon. This is all descending colon. Most of the colon is descending. So all this, now you can't see it. It's hard to tell, but way down here, it just right in here starts to bend, and that would be the sigmoid. That's part of the rectum, because usually we say that. So below this point is rectum. So usually, again, I won't ask that so deep. I'll usually ask descending, either transverse or ascending. So, and you can't see the anal canal, of course, to the outside. This is urinary bladder right here. This is the urinary bladder, and we'll do the urinary system first, and we'll look over here. This is the kidney right here. So if we dissect this kidney a little bit, show you something on this. This right here is a ureter, and that carries urine from the kidneys down here to the urinary bladder right here. So you can trace this all. It's right here. It's going to run. The one from each side is going to run right into that urinary bladder. So this is ureter. That's the kidney. That's the urinary bladder right here. This structure right here, that little tube, that's the urethra to the outside. So that's all the parts of the system. So urethra, one of those, urinary bladder, ureters, and then kidneys. Now the reproductive system is here. So this is sometimes you get mixed up. This is a horn of the uterus right here. This whole thing is the horn. This is the ovary right here. So there's an ovary on both sides, a horn on both sides. Where the horns come together, just at that one point, that's called the body of the uterus, where the two horns come together. Everything below that point is vaginal tract, below that, to the outside. So that's it. That's every part.
Wow, look at that.
That's every one for the female.